Hello people, it is Thursday the 27th of August 2026 and it's 10 minutes past 2. Right then, I'm not going to make this too long and I'm not tent bashing in any way here, but I just wanted to make a point because last week I watched a couple of videos that pretty much said that the Nortent fabric is stronger than the Hilleberg. One was by Tom Heaney and the other one was by Fellman Dave. So I value the opinions of those two guys because they do go into, you know, some detail about the products that they're reviewing. Now my tent is more like gear chat. I tell you my opinion on what suits me and why I think it's better than, you know, something else, or just why I prefer a certain brand, product or whatever over other things. So yeah, so I'm not saying that the Nortents are, you know, bad tents in any way. I think they're very good tents, although I have never owned one. I've just, you know, seen a couple. I've never used one, and what ends up being a good tent for one person can, you know, for various reasons, it can be a bad tent for another. So the three YouTubers that kind of push the Nortent brand most on YouTube is you've got Novice Wild Camper, Tom Heaney and Fellman Dave. So again, you know, they're all good YouTubers. They all, you know, go into great detail and stuff like that. But I'm no good with numbers. I've got this kind of condition, it's called dyscalculia, where you tell me something with numbers and it goes in for a short time and then it goes. So what I do when I'm looking for a new piece of gear or whatever, I make a load of notes, similar to what Tom Heaney did on his video, how he evaluated, you know, two tents, Hilleberg and Nortents and stuff. And then what I do, I'll look at things like the weight, the footprint, very importantly the strength, because I'm done with relying on my fitness when things go pear-shaped. I'm, you know, 2 years off my pension, and I don't want to be finding myself in a dangerous situation on the mountain. So when I buy something, I want to buy the best. And in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at spending just over £1,000 for a tent, in the grand scheme of things, that's nothing these days. Kids, you know, got phones worth more than that in their pockets, haven't they? And, you know, yeah, they could be, you know, regarded as a safety feature by the parents, depending on how much they love them, of course. But getting back into a mountain environment, I'm referring mostly to the UK, although I have travelled a lot. I've mentioned before in my videos, I've been to 58 different countries. I've, you know, climbed and snowboarded in all different mountain regions and that. And I was a teacher, I was a rock climbing instructor, a joint service rock climbing instructor in the army for 15 years. So, you know, I have been in some hostile environments. I've been down to -50 in Canada on the prairie there. I've been to the -30s in Norway. I've climbed frozen waterfalls, you know, like I say, I've done all sorts. So when I'm out doing my wild camping now, mostly in the UK, I'm respectful of how quickly the conditions can change. You know, you can read a forecast, and if you go out there wholeheartedly believing in that forecast, you're going to end up coming a cropper, because the weather can change. You can be on even something as low as the Kinder Plateau, which is only like, you know, between 600 and 700 meters, and you can have 3 different weather patterns or weather conditions in the space of an hour sometimes, and it gets worse in the lakes and stuff like that because we're on an island. Anyway, getting back to these facts that was stated by Fellman Dave and Tom. So what I did was, I want to know that I've got the best gear. because at my age I think I deserve it. I've worked hard all my life. I've employed loads of people over the years and stuff, and then obviously I've done 15 years in the army on top of that. So I want the best gear that's available for what I do. So when I heard Tom say what he said about the fabric being stronger than Hilleberg's, the Nortent fabric being stronger than Hilleberg, and then I got into a little bit of a dialogue in the comments with Dave, because I believe that the 15D nylon that Hilleberg use on the red label tents was stronger than the Nortent one, and then therefore the black label Hilleberg material, the 1800 Kerlon. So you've got on the red label you have 1200 Kerlon with the Hilleberg, and then on the black label you have 1800 Kerlon. So I thought that was like the best in the business, and I believed that. So I sent an email to Hilleberg asking them to confirm, is their material better than Nortent, and I also sent an email to Nortent, and I got a reply off both of them. The one off Hilleberg was, they've never tested that material, so they wouldn't be able to answer that question. And then I got an email off Nortent, and it was different. So I'm going to read out to you what Nortent replied. Now, first and foremost, the service is fantastic with both of them companies, and they're both premium brands. And like I say, what I consider to be the best tent, that's what I consider to be the best tent for me. And likewise, some people consider Nortent, it might be because of the size, because all them 3 YouTubers I mentioned earlier, they're all over 6 foot, aren't they? So, they can have the issues where the tents are flapping about and they're hitting their heads. Anyway, so this is what Nortent replied to me. So this is their second reply to me. So this was today, by the way. So it's, "Hi again, Olan. I'm writing back to offer sincere apology and correct an error I made in my previous email regarding our 15D, whatever this big number, fabric specs. While reviewing our technical files today, I discovered a misinterpretation of our laboratory test reports. The reports actually tested the 15D fabric using ISO 13937-1, in brackets, the Elmdorf pendulum method, which resulted in a value of 13N. So I take it that's, what will that be, newtons, I suppose. During our data entry, this was mistakenly recorded as 13 kilograms under ISO 13937-4. So basically they're saying that the data entry was mistakenly recorded at 13 kilograms. So Hilleberg claim that their tear strength on their 15D nylon is 12 kilograms. So 13 kilograms is stronger, isn't it, than Hilleberg? So I'll read that again. So our data entry, during our data entry, this was mistakenly recorded at 13 kilograms under ISO 13937-4. Because ISO 13937-1 measures dynamic tear resistance, open brackets, a sudden jerk force, close brackets, it cannot be directly converted to the static tongue tear method, open brackets, ISO 13937-4, close brackets. When evaluated under standard tongue tear conditions, the actual tear strength for our 15D fabric is around 7 kilograms, and then brackets 70N, and then close brackets, not 13 kilograms. So they've gone from 13 kilograms to 7 kilograms. Now remember, Hilleberg red label is claiming 12 kilograms, aren't they? So that, more than double the strength on that type of test. And then the guy from Nortent, I don't know how you spell you pronounce his name, it's Kjetil. Is it Jetil or something? Silent K, I don't know. But anyway, so he goes on to explain, while 7 kilograms is still an exceptionally high tear strength for an ultralight 15D fabric, and all the details regarding the high tenacity nylon 66, dense thread count and full silicone impregnation remain entirely accurate, it was very important to me to reach out immediately with the correct facts. I'm truly sorry for providing you with inaccurate numbers earlier. Best regards, Jetel, however you pronounce his name. Sorry if I got that wrong. But I love the integrity when companies are like that, and they're not trying to just bluff you. But why that level of integrity is important to me, and it should be too, is because if you look at the cost of, say, you know, the Verne 1, you compare it with the Sula. I'm not saying it's an ideal comparison, that, but if you do, take them 2 tents. You know, one's like nearly double the price, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason why a lot of these brands are less than half the price of the Hilleberg, because they're not as good materials. Now, if that upsets you, tough shit. It's a fact. If you're a Hilleberg hater for whatever reason, you don't understand these type of things. And if you can come out with like excuses like, oh, well, it's condensation. But if you're bothered about a bit of condensation when it's blowing 50 mile an hour outside on the mountain, you don't belong in the mountains. You have no place in the mountains whatsoever. And if you haven't got the mental faculties to be able to, you know, deal with, you know, tent environments, then you shouldn't be in the mountain either. You're gonna, you know, you're gonna be a statistic probably. So yeah, so I just thought I'd make this video to clear up a few points, because you know, every time a new tent comes out these days, you got people jumping on the bandwagon, you know, saying, oh, you know, this is better than that and stuff like that. Now, if there was a tent, a one-man tent that was stronger and more practical for UK summit camping, I would own it. 100% I would own it. No matter what it costs, I would own it, because I value my life that much, because I want to be around for a long time, because I've got 3 beautiful grandkids. I want to see them all grow up and be successful. So yeah, so that clears that. Now, the other subject I want to talk about is Hyperlite. This is a set of rods that go in the back of one of the 55 litres pack, because a few months ago decided to, I've got 3 different Hyperlite Mountain Gear packs. I've got excuse me, I've got the Waypoint 35 litre, which I love. I've got the Unbound 40, and I've got the Unbound 55, which I also love. But with one of my white ones, I took it to the wash house to put in the washing machine there and clean it, because when you go on Kinder with this white material that they do, it can get quite dirty. So I put it in, and they do wash up really well when they've been in a washing machine. They look brand new again when they come out. So I put it in the washing, but I left the stays, the back stays. That's what's in that box, back stays, not rods. And I forgot them. So I reached out to Hyperlite Mountain Gear last Wednesday or Thursday, explaining what had happened and how much I love their gear, because I've also got the Hyperlite Mid 1P. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll see me using that, and I love that tent too. Their gear is absolute top notch, and I've tried all sorts of premium, you know, brands. Another one of my favourites is the Z packs, as you know if you're a subscriber, because in summer I love that ventilated back thing. But anyway, I reached out to Hyperlite Mountain Gear last Wednesday or Thursday, and you know, we're on Thursday, and it's arrived already. And guess what? It was free. They didn't even charge me for it. They never charged me at all. So I'm mega impressed with that, and I didn't get any duties neither. So yeah, so I'm going to be doing a video on why Hyperlite Mountain Gear are better than Atom packs, and you won't like that. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your wet Thursday, whatever you're up to if you're in the UK. And God bless to all those people that are in the Himalayas, because there's been a massive landslide out there. I think there's been reported that there's 33 Brits that are missing. So yeah, we've got there's quakes all over the shop at the moment. There's been tornado in the France as well, not that far from Andorra, where I lived for 9 years as well. So yeah. Oh, just quickly as well, they've had hailstorms as well in Andorra. And I remember this one time when I'd gone over the border into Spain at a popular climbing place, and I was staying in a campsite in my Hilleberg Solo, And during the day, it hailed for about half an hour, like, you know, like hailstones this big, like, you know, the size of golf balls, if not bigger. And everybody who was climbing with, they was all staying at this campsite and was all worried about the tents. And when we get back to the campsite, guess whose was the only tent that survived? My Hilleberg Solo. So I'll leave it at that. All the best. I'll see you on the next one. God bless.